Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London. Now if you missed my last video, you would have missed the collection of my Audi R8 V10 from John Cleese Audio, where the legends there have installed the new head unit, which now gives me Apple CarPlay. And on the drive over to where I am now at Dub Customs, well, it's completely transformed the daily driverness of this car. Yes, it's got the V10, yes, it's got the manual gearbox. They were the only two things that this car had going for it. And now I've got the incredible audio system where I was able to connect my phone and listen to my own media, which is a game changer in itself. But now having Apple CarPlay, so I don't have to connect via Bluetooth, and I've just got my phone on the beautiful touchscreen that has enabled me to just, it's one of those things I actually don't think I can describe unless you go from having a car that doesn't have Apple CarPlay to having one. And without it, now I don't know what I would do. There was a moment in my ownership over the last year where I've thought about selling it because it's not going down in value, potentially creeping up in value. But now that I've had the interior upgrades that have just massively improved the driving experience of this car, just day to day, just cruising around, it is such an enjoyable car to drive. But we are not here to talk about this. In fact, I'm dropping it off, I'm leaving it here. Let me show you my Alfa Romeo. It seems to be very infrequent that these two cars are actually together, and I love this angle of the R8, the size of it, the shape of it. I can't believe it's 14 years old. And when I was in the petrol station earlier looking at it versus all of the other cars that were lined up getting petrol, of course my fuel bill was a bit more expensive than everyone else's, but I'm loving this car more and more, and there are things that are happening to this whilst I leave it here. So when I come back to Dub Customs, this car will look a little bit different, but much cooler and hopefully a little bit more modern. But we're here to have a look at green, black, iridescent on the Stelvio Quadrifoglio. From some angles, it can just look gloss black. I'm really excited to see it in multiple different lights at nighttime, under street lights, under daylight, under cloud cover, in the rain, because I think this colour is going to look much better, much more of the time under the British weather. And what is it about me collecting cars under beautiful days? Because again, we've got a day here where there isn't really a cloud in the sky. I can see one. But, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the new wrap of my Stelvio Quadrifoglio? It doesn't really pick up the green so much now that the sun has gone in, but you might be able to see it a little bit. But when the sun was just cresting over the building behind, you could see this beautiful metallic fleck just in this panel on the front bumper. But as you move around it, you can see just how beautiful and elegant and classy I think this is. And actually the gloss really works with the shape of the car. You might be able to see a bit more green round here, but when the guys were sending me photos in their unit, in some angles it just looked completely gloss black. But here you go, you can see a little bit of the green here. I just think it looks so cool and works perfectly with the yellow brake calipers. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to keep the wheels titanium. The guys here think I should go for like a sort of champagne bronze wheel, but I actually quite like the stealth look. And visually, from the outside, it almost matches the clover leaf that we've got here. Okay, this is a little bit more green than what we've got here. But yes, this colour and the inspiration comes all the way back to January 2022 when I was in California and there was a Bentley Continental GT Speed whilst I was there with Bentley, and it was basically black. And then all of a sudden, the closer I got to it, with the Californian sun just kind of getting over the front bumper, I realised it was green. And so I'd been speaking to the guys at Bentley, asking what the colour was, and we'd been looking from the material samples that you get here at Dub Customs for a similar colour, and there were two. and we went with this, and I'm so happy that we went with it, because right now I'm looking at the screen and it looks like it's just a really, really rich dark green, but actually down here there's so much black that I really think at night time this is just going to look like a normal black Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it's going to look absolutely great, but I know it's green, and I think everyone else does as well. So we've kept the wing mirrors black. The roof obviously is a massive pan roof, so that stays the same, but I really, really, really like the result in this, and the guys are trying to get me to wrap that like this. Let me know whether you think I should. Anyway, I am absolutely ecstatic with how my 2-car garage is looking at the moment, and it is only going to get better because that R8 is going to look a little bit different, but I think it is going to make some massive changes. And I did have planned at the end of last year to get these 2 cars together alongside my wife's new car to show you the 3-car garage that we have and give you guys a little bit of a summary of how good 2023 has been and how much fun it has been for me to film and share my journeys with you guys. We didn't quite make that happen, but it is all for a good reason, and it is definitely worth the wait. So, oh, that looks so good. That front end is so aggressive. I'm just looking at it now with the bonnet vents, that front bumper. The colours just work, but also the shape of the car is aggressive. And whilst I did like the satin finish, I think this looks really, really cool. Really, really happy with it. The guys at Dub Customs have absolutely smashed it out of the park. And the ridiculous thing is now, whilst my wife didn't have a car, and before we bought her car, she was using this. And her iPhone uses the normal lightning cable, and I haven't got a USB-C charger in the Alfa Romeo, so I can't actually use the Apple CarPlay to get home. But that car now has Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay on a 2009 Audi R8. So anyway, it is now going to be rush hour. I'm going to have a very slow journey back home. But what a mental day. 2 videos in one day, 2 car collections in one day, and my 2-car garage is together for approximately 2 hours. But it won't be long before they are back together properly and we can embark on some very, very fun adventures. I will be posting some stuff on Instagram with the Alfa Romeo, and I really want to hear from you guys what you want to know about that car behind, because I feel like there isn't that much content on this car, and there definitely isn't that much ownership experience out there. So I'll be doing my best to give you guys an insight into what it is like to daily drive this car, alongside having that as a fun weekend toy. But as a sub £100,000 garage goes, I think these 2 cars are pretty special. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching. Huge thank you to Dub Customs for smashing it out the park with the Alfa Romeo, and I will see you very soon for the next video. Take care. Goodbye.